Okay, welcome everyone to welcome everyone to the Cosmic Starseed Academy. These are the weekly gatherings and Pleiadian channelings. Today's date is the 11th of October 2025, and it's 09 or 9:39 p.m. here in Ireland. Dennis is going to start with the prayers. And please, everyone, if you could mute yourselves.
Very good. I will begin with a prayer, which is called the Law of One prayer. It is short, and I will say it 3 times after some I am affirmations. So the Law of One prayer: we are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask for the greatest good of all here concerned. I give thanks that this is done. It is so. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask for the greatest good of all here concerned. I give thanks that this is done. It is so. We are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask for the greatest good of all here concerned. I give thanks that this is done. It is so. And an I am mantra or affirmation, which has just 4 lines in it. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. I am the light. I am the love. I am the truth. I am. Thank you.
Perfect timing. As always, we are delighted to be with you this evening. And we've recently started to share that every time we connect with you, whether it is as a group, collective, in these teachings or channelings, or individually in readings that we do for people, we always come in with an energy. And this evening, we interestingly come in with a warrior energy, but also on a somewhat opposite scale, a peace energy, which interestingly, we would say that all of you have. All of you, at the flick of a switch, are able to, when needed, to pick up your swords, even if they are etheric swords of light. You are powerful beings. We will begin with Brian's question that Soma has been asking for some time, silently. When she's not channeling, she's been asking us about the chemtrails. And then we will move on to Melissa's question. And then we might go back to Brian and cover it in more depth. What we were showing Soma just now is that the military has largely ceased the chemtrails, most especially in certain states in America and other places where it is banned. Other countries. What we are showing, Soma, is that what has occurred is that the military or the black ops, being the same thing, really, more or less, handed over documentation and paperwork, contracts, information, deals to the likes of we're not going to use his name, but let us call him Jill Bates. Most of you will know who we are referring to. So the likes of him are now in him and his similar ilk are in control of companies that are still in operation of some of the chemtrails. These privately owned companies that are funded have vast amounts of cash given to them and at their disposal. Which is tied into, loosely is the wrong word, but it's connected to the question that Melissa was asking. We want to refer back to Atlantis and the downfall of Atlantis, where you were invaded, your planet was invaded by a negative species, an alien race, to control Earth, to control humanity. Your DNA was altered hugely. You were different beings in the time of Atlantis. You were operating on a higher frequency. You were different beings. Your bodies were different. You all had much higher abilities. You were closer to angels than you are now. Your abilities, your awareness, your innate God's source I am presence. You all had the ability to channel. You all had the ability to heal. You all had the ability to telepathically communicate. And things changed when you were invaded by a negative alien species. And you've been repeating lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime for eons, trying to figure out how to break free, how to. There are many aspects at play here, many aspects. There was a contract that was drawn up between this negative alien race that we're speaking of and, dare we say the word us, or other positive alien races? Perhaps a blend. We've made mistakes in the past. A contract was signed, an official document that gave this group of beings a certain time period of ownership of Earth and humanity. And we've said many times previously that that contract is now null and void. It has been torn up. It is no longer boundable. It is no longer. Soma's looking for the word. It is null and void. There was a call long ago put out into the universe. We've spoken of this before. Many of you heard this call and have returned. Not just this lifetime, but you've been returning for eons to learn, to build, to grow on a soul level, to experience, to prepare yourselves for this lifetime now. And as we said, there are many aspects at play here. This lifetime now is a parallel timeline in many aspects to Atlantis. This time period is parallel to a time period in Atlantis where things went wrong. It is a repeat cycle of a conscious evolution, chance, or a chance of consciousness evolution, which did not happen in Atlantis. You devolved, and this time you get to evolve. This lifetime is particularly difficult because the war between light and dark is at a pivotal point in your time, in your now, in your life, in this lifetime now. It is a very complex question that you are asking, Melissa, and There are some aspects that we haven't even mentioned. We look forward to sharing more and more information with you over the years, which Soma will have. Oh, it's a game of chess between light and dark. Let us begin with Melissa. Would you like to say anything, ask anything else, share anything?
Yes.
The questions you are asking.
When you were speaking, it really resonated with me with the Atlanteans. I truly believe that for us to really be on our higher level of consciousness, we need water. I think when we are, and I feel like there's a correlation between the Atlanteans being submerged into the water and then for us to be now land-bodied and how we need water, right? And I think that what came to me was for us to really feel this consciousness, if we are on that lower end of dehydration, I feel like it really like compresses the brain into like a depression. And I feel like that's when we open that darkness. Like you said, it is chess. I do believe that it is a game of chess. That is what our free will is that was given to us. And I feel like, was that given to us after the Atlanteans were taken over? Did they always have free will when they were the Atlanteans, or were they full consciousness?
There has always been free will. Sometimes that is not the perception, because how can you have free will on a prison planet? But you do. In the choices you make, you are the creators. You have created this yourselves.
So are we the spark of Adam when Adam decided to take on this free will and break himself away from all knowing?
That is part of it. That is an aspect of it. But it is like a clock. It is like the face of a clock. There are many aspects at play. There are billions of you on your planet that are all part of God source. There are many aspects of God. When you look in the mirror, you're looking at God. We've never said that. Not in that way before. You are very good at receiving information And it would be good for you individually, Melissa, to ask to receive information while you are in a heightened state of awareness, which you can get yourself into, either through music or hypnosis or meditation. And then ask the questions and you will be shown. Thank you. You could also go and ask a tree. You are ready for the next level of information, of understanding, of awareness, of awakening. You do not need to. We are speaking to you in a very unique, in a very individual way. So this will not work for everyone, but what we are seeing for you, what we are feeling for you, is that you can absorb a lot of information quickly when you are in a heightened state, and you do not necessarily anymore need to read books or hundreds of books to receive information, to get information. You can do it on a heightened, when you are in a heightened state. We see this. We see you going into a heightened state more and more and more and more, because it is, time has speeded up. No one seems to anymore have the time to read books in the old way of being. The old energy is the wrong word, but you used to have time to read books, and now time has speeded up so much, and your world is perceived to be full of chaos, and everything is happening so quickly. Moment by moment, there are huge changes happening on your planet that the media is not exposing.
Thank you. It all resonates with me very much. Thank you.
There is much information we have to share with you. A lot of information we will bring to you, and we will do that over the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months, years. You are here to lead. We are speaking to you individually, and this group here this evening, that the people here this evening, including Soma, including Dennis, including Brian, including everyone here. You are born to teach. And many of you do have a warrior type energy. It is needed on your planet. We never incite or condone violence. However, the warrior type energy does overthrow the negative agenda. When channeled, when used correctly, it is forceful energy. It is lion energy. The lion knows when, and we've said this many times in this exact way, as a great example. for Soma and others. The lion knows when to hunt. And in a second, it can turn around and feed the cubs and look after the cubs. It has both of the warrior and love frequency and compassion. There's an equilibrium within the lion energy of those energies. Let us move forward to science has now proven that you do not come from monkeys. You were designed. You were created by us and the likes of us. And that process was not limited to Earth. The universe, planets are seeded with life. Let us move forward to Brian's question. Did we explain enough?
You did.
About-
You did, and it makes a lot of sense because we are. It seems like certain states in the U.S. have declared chemtrails are not welcome, and it does seem like we are seeing some lessening of chemtrails in some places, but then we still see it in others, and then it would make sense that we got private New World Order contractors hired by people like Jill Gates, whoever. But this kind of under the subject of being under attack. A lot of people in our community have been under attack in various ways lately. For example, my colleagues and I, we may have traced some of the source of attacks to an ancient cult that worships something known as a kinatar, not a minotaur, but a kinatar. It's like a shape-changing fish, bull, lizard, humanoid beast that changes shapes. And it might be somewhere in like Eastern Europe or the Middle East, in a temple underground that you have to access through a bathhouse. And there are wizards and witches that worship this being and literally sacrifice people to it. And apparently this being is sending, and it's the cult, is sending a lot of attack our way. I was wondering if you pick up anything on that.
Let us address that. But let us address it in an interview is the wrong word, but let us address it where you and Soma and us connect one-to-one, where we channel through her for you. Let us do that.
Okay, this might be a touchy, security sensitive topic, so sure, yes.
There are many beings that have been created. Some went well, and some have not gone well at all. Many of these experiments or life-bringing beings were destroyed or wiped out or extinction. Many were created eons ago. Many are still being created beneath your planet. A mix of to give kind of a nice example, a mix of a horse and human or similar. There was a certain type of bull that had to be made extinct because the experiment did not go well. This is sometimes written about in your past history. But there were many experiments that went wrong. Many beings moved into a higher dimension in order to, because they were hunted to almost extinction, and in order to survive, they had to move into a higher dimension or a higher frequency where they still reside. Many went beneath the surface. We are talking now more of groups of beings, or whether they be human or animal form or the like, such as unicorns and other. We would like to share more with you, explore this more. Channel more, go deeper more. Yours is an important mission, and you do reach a lot of people. You are bringing forth important information of the highest ilk. By your contacts, by the people you give a microphone to, you give a space to, you give time to, you give energy to, you believe in. And this is, you are expanding this baby. So we will pause there for this evening.
Yeah, that's helpful. It's interesting that they said life-bringing some of these creatures, because apparently the members of this cult, they've been worshiping this being for hundreds of years at least, if not over 1,000 years, and this thing keeps them alive. They claim it sustains their life, and they worship it as their god, and that's why they sacrifice to it and do its bidding. And so it sounds like one of these beings, like a created being that has run amok and has gotten its own little cult to be worshipped, which is a very Anunnaki thing, it sounds like.
We are showing Soma an image of a certain underground tunnel. She does not know the name of this tunnel, but within this tunnel, there are thousands of skulls. And yet no one seems to know why these skulls are in this certain tunnel or underground cave or cavity. But Soma is feeling a similarity between what you are speaking and this cave or tunnel or cavern underground that contains all of these skulls. That if some of you will know what we are speaking of.
In catacombs. Does it feel like it's in Turkey or Bulgaria? Or Romania?
I don't know that it is one of those well-known sites. I think she refers to something that is more hidden and within the control of the occult. And
That's what I'm thinking, Bulgaria or Romania,
and so perhaps, and so this is a site of
Turkey.
of dark power. It is a vortex or portal of dark energy.
Yeah. Apparently they don't like the idea of us enlightening their food source, humanity.
Yes. Yes.
We would also say that we would also say that Hitler was working for some very negative alien race or races and was under the influence, was perhaps even more like a slave to them. Or what in your modern world you would call a puppet. And was in the beginning, in reverence, he was in reverence to this being or beings. And Soma feels there's a similarity between what you are speaking and this giant being that is not good.
I think it is important to point out Soma speaks, and the Pleiadians indeed speak of creating beings and creating us. And there is some truth in that they looked to expand creation, and they mixed genetics of different star seeds, and they did it with a purpose of creating a race, a set of beings that have some greater potentials than even they have, and that those potentials would be realized through some cycles of time. They would come to fulfillment. But that is, and that involves the mechanics and the science of dealing with DNA and genome and no doubt a whole bunch more. But all of you, all of us are fractals of source. And we are not spirit. We are spirit. We're not matter. We are immortal. So at the very least, we are co-creators, not just of our reality, but of our beingness. We are co-creators of our creation because we are fractals of source. We exist before matter, energy, space, and time. and we're involved in the creation of them. And then you have elements which have a dark force or energy that's not benevolent and it's very old. Well, all of them, like us, have departed from the oneness, from the all that is, from the source. And I say this to you because I might have been a ramble there. That prayer that I have come across, and I share the law of one prayer, is tremendously powerful. And so when you speak that prayer as immortal soul and God fractal, it is a fantastic power of correction and defense to any being and any entity of any strength, because it's presenting absolute and ultimate truths. So
Can
that
I
thing
ask?
is so dark and evil. That's okay, Melissa. I'll come back to it. Yeah, it's all cool. That thing, we are all one. It doesn't have it doesn't have a beginning which is different from ours. We all come from the oneness. When one is harmed, all are harmed. It's interesting that there isn't like there is a message there being communicated to this being of bad intention and of great power. It's going, whoa, 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 out of compassion, out of respect for the oneness. You're letting you don't want that being of darkness to destroy itself or hurt itself, which it is doing out of its own trauma. So one is letting it know. It's like you have great pain, you have great power, and I am as a mortal being, I'm sharing this truth to you, that when you harm one, you're harming yourself. You go, whoa, there's ultimate truth. And then letting them know, here, there's an option. When you help someone, you're helping yourself. You're saying to this being of great darkness and great force and great power, you know, I'm giving you an opportunity to do yourself a great big fucking favor, you know, and just step aside and leave me alone, because you be helping yourself.
Let us add that you are in a great growth evolutionary period, and the darkness on your planet is serving a purpose. We understand how this may anger some of you. However, you would not get to evolve your consciousness on your planet without the great darkness and atrocities and evil beings. There would be, without them, there would be no great awakening of humanity.
Somebody's got to play the bad guys.
It is the dark that ignites the light, that raises you up onto your next, onto your next level of consciousness.
I totally agree. That's what I wanted to ask about the constellation Hydra. Can you tell me anything about that? It's one of the largest constellations, and I feel like when it is aligned at this time of the year, when our veil is the thinnest, it tends to bring out. I've done some studies on Hydra, and it's been mentioned in the Marvels comics. Hail Hydra, Hitler said hi, you know, Hail Hitler. A movie we just watched said Hail Satan, and I know Hail is really associated with this constellation. Is that constellation part of darkness that tends to come into what we feel here when it's in the sky?
Oh, such in-depth questions. We refer back to what we said earlier. Not for all of your questions, but for some of them. That question is marvelous, wondrous, but we are not going to answer that now. A flower, a plant, is a beautiful, simple thing. And yet it takes so many aspects. It needs so many aspects to come to life. Sun, water, daylight, nighttime, seasons. It needs nutrients. And it can thrive more when you bring different aspects to it, such as crystals, or the frequency of love, or copper. It reacts to different elements. But it is a simple thing. So we look forward to connecting with you again. We invite you, all of you, each and every one, listening now, listening in the future, those that are part of this evening groups, those that Soma has no awareness of. We invite you all to reach out and ask questions, send email. Working through Soma, we will pick and choose some of these questions, and we will reply to these questions in the form of a book, which we've been threatening with for some time to Soma. It's time for the next level, the next wave of your own process of the evolution.